Well, I'm Astrid Brousselle. I'm a professor in the School of Public Administration at the University of Victoria, and I'm also the director of the school. I've been working in evaluation for many, many years. I did my PhD in evaluation and then continued. It was a real passion for me. I started to work on implementation evaluations and then got really passionate about theory-based evaluations. I worked a lot in developing approaches, theories, experimenting new approaches in evaluation and writing about them. And my main field of expertise were the healthcare system. But then a few years ago, when I realized the importance of climate change and depletion of the environment and the impact it had on human beings, I decided to switch my research program and to invest my efforts in developing approaches for reconciling human systems and natural systems to really find ways forward for us as human beings to thrive in our environment.
That is very interesting. And given the conference's theme of evaluation in a certain world, complexity, legitimacy, and ethics, in your view, what are the most pressing issues for evaluation today?
Well, we're currently in a kind of existential, sorry for my English, existential threat for human beings, right? There are many threats related to climate change and related climate events. Look at the new, climate event happening in Louisiana, for example, but there are fires everywhere in BC. The air quality was the worst. So we are experiencing more and more events like that, and it will become the norm, right? It will become more and more frequent. So we need to change that, and we have a moral duty to do it. So we can't expect people to act for us. It's our responsibility for each one of us to make a difference in this world. And if we all do our part, we can change this pathway. We have agency and we have the power for action. When we see the response to COVID-19 that happened last year, it really showed that we have a powerful capacity to change the way we organize society. We've dedicated our efforts to prevent, trying to protect the population from COVID-19. We should do the same efforts to make sure that we are, promoting an environment that is healthy for living species and human beings. It's really about morality. It's really about values in life, but it becomes more and more important today that, we have no other choice but for each one of us to take action now.
Thank you. And we would also like to know about your expectations for the 2021 EES conference.
We have expected this gathering for a year. It was supposed to be in presence and now it will be online. I think the theme is really great and really addressing our main challenges today. If I had one hope with this conference taking place, is that each one of the evaluators at the end realizes that they can take action at their own level. We need to completely change our practices to take into consideration the impacts of interventions on human beings and on the environment. And normally we do not do that. When we build a logic model, we have a narrow vision of our interventions. Who is really taking into consideration the impacts interventions have on the environment and on human beings? We don't do that. We don't consider equity. We don't consider health. We don't consider pollution. We don't consider the impact on, climate change, on loss of biodiversity. So we need to deeply revise our practice. It is a time that is very challenging, a time of crisis, and we need to be responsive for that. There are new approaches that are being developed. The field is not there yet, and we need the efforts of everyone to develop new approaches and to support innovative practices that would take into account those aspects. And I think that evaluators in the past have shown that we have a high capacity of innovation, and we need now to do our part with regards to our current challenges. We're not there yet, but I would consider this conference a success if each one of the evaluators attending the conference feels empowered they can do something to contribute to a thriving society.
Thank you very much. And related to this, can you give us a sneak peek of your participation in the conference?
Well, I will be participating in various activities. I will be leading a panel with some experts on evaluators in the Anthropocene. So how can we change our practices? But this panel is really to hear about the audience experience and best practices, best initiatives. So it's more about a dialogue with evaluators to hear from different parts of the world what people have been doing. And we will have on this panel different experts from different regions of the world to respond and contribute to the dialogue. So this is one activity. The other activity, I'm participating in a panel organized by Veronica Felsis on post-truth and evaluation, which is another challenge we are also in. So I am really looking forward to the conversation here. And finally, I will participate as a keynote speaker with Zenda Ophir on, what's next as evaluators. What do we need to do, and what are the pathways we should adopt? So again, I'm really looking forward to hearing Zenda on that and participating to this activity.
Thank you so much. And you're here with young and emerging evaluators. I'm sure there are lots of others outside who will also read your blog or maybe see your video. If you could have one piece of advice to us, what could it be? Because we are motivated to learn more about evaluation. We are also thinking of entering into evaluation. May you please give us a piece of advice?
Well, I would say please trust yourself in being innovators. I think that the field of evaluation has lots of potential. There's a lot to know and a lot of knowledge already existing. But what we see with the current challenges is that this is not enough. We need to think differently. We need to think about systems. We need to not work in silos, but we need to work with people from different expertise, different kinds of people from different cultures. So I would invite young evaluators to be very creative, to be innovators, and to work with their heart in what they think is important for building a better society, and not be afraid in, creating new ways. Making errors, we don't mind. We are making errors currently in our day-to-day, and we need to get out of that. So I'm so glad you're here today. It's my hope in the field of evaluation. I think we need to go beyond actual practices and try new things, be creative, be innovators. So yeah, that would be my message. Of course, learn about the field, but trust your heart and make a difference in your communities.
Thank you so much. And to wrap up at the end, if you are having any additional point you would like to share with us.
I think, we need to get together. The field of evaluation is a very contrasted field. I think we have one and many challenges today, and we can move as individuals, but also collectively. And this would be my message. I think we need to act as a group. We need to rebuild solidarities in between cultures, in between countries, in between different types of evaluators. The challenges are so big, we can't face them as individuals, and it's really disheartening if we work alone. But I would say we're not alone. We're a huge society. There are different people bringing, each one of them, some diversity in work and in the day-to-day. And I think part of our role as evaluators is really to think about ways we can rebuild solidarity in the day-to-day, recreate relationships, and recreate links.